Hey guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video. Now, with everything that's going on in the UK at the moment and worldwide of that matter, I thought it'd be probably the best idea to do a Q&A. Now, you all know that I'm very strict with myself about uploading twice a week, every Wednesday and every Saturday, and so I didn't want to let you guys down by not uploading as much as I normally do. Now, straight off the bat, my concerns go out to anyone out there, wherever you are in the world, because this is a worldwide matter, and it's nothing to be laughed at. I am self-isolating, I suppose you could say, in my driveway. I have the 140 in the garage here, and I have the GT86 just outside here. So yeah, we're just going to go through a couple of your questions, actually more than a couple because there's quite a few, and just have a really casual video. Just me sat here or stood here answering some of your guys' questions. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, then stick around, and yeah, let's get stuck in. So first of all, thank you very much for all of the questions that I did receive. I received probably around 150 across Instagram and YouTube, so thank you very much for that. I've got my phone out here because I've made a note or a screenshot of all the ones which I want to answer, and that's exactly what we're going to do now. So getting straight on into the first question, which actually quite a few people asked me, and that was when or if Hot Hatch head-to-head will be returning. Now, for those of you long-term subscribers, you may know that I did a series called Hot Hatch head-to-head with my previous car, the Golf R. I basically put it up against other hot hatches such as the M140i, the Focus RS, the A45, the A35, etc, etc. And that kind of season finale was in partnership with BOTB, a massive drag race up at Bruntingthorpe in the Midlands. It was an awesome series and I'd love to do it again, but my only concern is this isn't stock anymore, and it's not really going to be going back to stock anytime soon. In fact, quite the opposite. So I don't know if I can make it work. I can't really do it with the 86 because it's not really a hot hatch and it's tricky, but I'd love to. I'd genuinely love to do that series again. Perhaps when I change this, maybe for another hot hatch, before I modify it, I could do another quick series. Or maybe when I want to sell this and if it goes back to stock, then I might do it then. But at the moment, unfortunately, no plans to go back. Moving on. Would you have taken X-Drive if it was available, presumably for the 140? No. For me, the 140 is great for two main things. First of all, the 3 litre, and second of all, the fact that it's rear-wheel drive. And we'll get on to more reasons of why I bought that, because that is asked with that specific car later on in the video. I've got an M240i. Would you want to do a video comparing them? Definitely. That is something which I really like to do because I like doing the comparison videos. Definitely, that'll be really cool. Presuming yours is an LCI model and it's fairly stock-ish, then yes, definitely. Plan a car meet. Now, I've kind of done not necessarily a massive car meet before, but I've done small gatherings of people, some of you guys, in their cars before. I've done it in partnership with Roadster app, and it would be great to do something again, maybe on a bigger scale, not necessarily for people who own Golf Rs, because that's what that meet was about. I think we had about 50 Golf Rs in total, which was awesome. But yeah, it'd be great to do like a, I don't know, just a meet. It'll be awesome. So yeah, if you guys want to do that, if you guys, especially if you're based in the UK and if you would be down for that, then by all means, let me know in the comments. And you never know, I might try and make it happen, providing the world situation is changed, because obviously right now, that is the last thing that I want to do. So, moving on, what do you think about Audi's new RS models? I love them. Don't get me wrong, RS3 would be like, I'd say ultimate hot hatch for me. I've had one Audi before and that was an A1, by no means an RS model. I'd love to own an Audi RS, maybe an RS6 or maybe an RS4, RS3. Yeah, I'd have one every day of the week. Any of them, I don't care which one. Now moving on to another question which fairly obviously is asked quite a lot. And that is, do I prefer the Golf or the BMW, the Golf R or the M140i? And that is actually quite a tricky question to answer, in the sense that I think that both the cars are both brilliant in their own right. This in the sense that you have to concentrate when you're driving it. It is leery, it will bite you, it will snap, and it's definitely nothing to be laughed at, I suppose you could say. Whereas the Golf R is more of a blisteringly quick machine, which you don't have to worry about skidding off, the back end kicking out or anything like that. I think personally the Golf R is a better daily, fairly obviously, four-wheel drive. I'd say personally a better gearbox and also a little bit more comfy, a little bit more fuel efficient, that kind of thing. Whereas this car is a kind of weekend toy, which is kind of what I use it for now, because this is essentially my daily. But which one do I prefer? I think, got to be that, right? I've got to be that, but I know that there's a lot of Golf R owners that follow me, or at least used to follow me when I had my car. They're both brilliant cars, don't get me wrong, and I would love to own another Golf R one day. You never know, that might happen one day. Any plans of upgrading to a larger iDrive screen? Is it even possible? It is possible to retrofit the SatNav Pro in the 140. I'll be honest, when I bought it, I thought it had it. I didn't even check, to be honest. I just wanted a car, and this one was at the right price, so I'm not complaining at all. I would like to retrofit one, but I think it's about £1,000 to do it properly, to get an official part, which is the upgraded SatNav Pro, and also the head unit I think you have to change as well. Maybe even some of the iDrive bits and bobs, I think. I'd like to do it, but at the moment I have other things which I'm saving for, which I'd like to do first. Now moving on to another question which was very commonly asked, and that is basically around what do I do for work and how do I have the money to run these two cars. Now what I do for work I do keep quite secret because that's the nature that it is. What I will do, I will leave the Instagram link for the page which I run on behalf of the company. I don't really want to speak about it too much because, like I said, it's quite private. But essentially, it's the family business. It's very, very hard work, even though my parents are my bosses, technically. It's a lot harder than it sounds, I promise. At the moment, we are very, very busy, but I'm basically an operations manager there. It's what I do from Monday to Friday, and then the weekends, if I'm not at work, as well, is when I get time to film videos like this. So that's basically what I do for work. I'm sure if you have a look at the Instagram, you'll have a pretty good idea of what we do. But on the kind of money front, I know there's a lot of rumors and stuff going around about how I'm able to run these two cars at my age. Basically, in short, I'll be completely honest with you because I don't lie on this channel, despite what people say. I'm on a dividend scheme with the company, and we're very lucky at the moment that it's going quite well. And over the last 2 years, I've been able to get a dividend, basically, which essentially paid for my Golf R and essentially paid for the 140 as well. That car kind of came from my savings and other bits like YouTube, which I'm hugely thankful for, because essentially without you guys, one, I wouldn't be able to afford the modifications on that, and I also wouldn't be able to afford that. But I can safely say these are funded by myself. Despite what people say, young people can be successful and run their lives on their own without any help at all. I know because I work with my parents, I'm technically getting the money from my parents, but it's not like, I don't want to go too into it because it's a bit of a rant which I have with some friends on a regular basis, but hopefully that kind of clears it up a bit, and hopefully I haven't given too much away because it's kind of private, you know. Anyway, this one is quite an interesting one. Another one on the 140. I know a lot of you guys do like that car. The 86 really hasn't been on the channel that much, which is probably why I haven't had many questions. But how much have you spent on the M140 and mods in total? Okay, so this is going to be brutally honest with you here. I paid for that car just over 25 grand. I paid 25,100, I believe. And that was a couple of months ago. It's a 2019 car, it's an ex-demo, so it's had the majority of its depreciation. So that's how much I spent on the car. And you probably know that what I said earlier on in the video, that's kind of how I got to buy that. Also selling my Golf R, which actually put a lot of money towards that. In fact, I think the difference was 5 grand between the Golf R and that. So there's that. In terms of mods, I'm actually going to have to go onto the notes section of my phone, which I'm not sure if you can see there. You see that? A list of everything, basically. Actually, I'm hoping you didn't see that because there's stuff on there which hasn't been put on the car yet. I might have to blur that. But in short, an approximate price or approximate figure which I've spent in modifications on this car, 7,000. 7,000. And I will say right now, I haven't paid 7,000 because some of the parts on my car are I'm very lucky to be able to say that they got given to me in terms of a deal or a sponsorship deal or promotional deal. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but essentially 7 grand's worth of stuff is on my car. The main one is the diff, which I paid, I believe, around 2,000 for, which is just under retail. It's a model which I always wanted to do, and I'm not the type of person to kind of demand things for free. I'm just, you know, I don't want to be an unfair person, but essentially £7,000 worth of stuff on that car. That does include stuff which isn't on it yet. So I will say, on this car right now, there is 5,000 worth of stuff. Stuff which is probably in there, out of shot, and also at some other places in the UK, is about 2,000. So there's some more stuff to go on the car which isn't on it yet. So there's that, basically. Right, one on the GT86 at last. Has it had its recall? Now, you guys may remember or may have seen the video I did with the car, basically saying that it has a problem, which basically is that the valve spring recall, very major recall for those, hasn't been done. It hasn't been done yet, but actually it's being done tomorrow. So tomorrow is Monday. So it's probably been done by the time this video goes up. But right now, as things stand, right now, it hasn't been done, but it's due to be done tomorrow, which I'm very excited about because I can finally drive it properly again. Future plans on the M140i, performance-wise, exterior-wise, if possible. There are plans, as I said earlier on. There is quite a lot of stuff which I haven't put on the car yet. Of course, the video that went up fairly recently was some cosmetic stuff, which looks really cool now. I'm really liking those exhaust tips. I keep on looking back at them. But yes, I'm going to be very vague, but I'm just going to say yes. And we shall move on from that. What's your favourite sounding engine? This is a good one, actually. And which car would you buy if that had that engine in? It's got to be a V12, right? Those of you who know me, I love V12s and I love Ferraris, and there is 2 fairly well-known V12 Ferraris which I would have. F12 TDF and a LaFerrari. Mainly the TDF though, not gonna lie. How important is a good engine / exhaust noise to you? For me, it's very important to feel connected to the car and make me smile when driving. 100%, very important. That's why I don't really have much of an opinion about EVs. Yeah, you got to have a loud exhaust because otherwise it just feels like you're just driving a box. Anyway, moving on. Does the GT86 feel underpowered? Yes. Yes, it does. It's quick, don't get me wrong. It's not slow. I wouldn't say it's quick. It's not slow. In the corners, it's fantastic, but in a straight line, it really doesn't have anything because it's naturally aspirated and it's a little 2-litre. But anyway, more of that maybe soon. But at the moment, yes, it is underpowered. What was your main drive when it came to your YouTube? What kept the passion, or what keeps the passion alive? Now, what made me start my YouTube channel was because I was into photography. I wanted to show more of my personality to my Instagram because when you upload photos, for example, people don't get an idea about your personality, even though most people think I am a pillock, which is great. But I just find it more rewarding. I kind of developed more of an interest in editing videos than photos. Don't get me wrong, for work I do a lot of photography, and I kind of separate things from that. But what was my main drive, well, presumably when I started my YouTube or my whole Hampshire photography thing, was actually to do with my parents. If you looked at that Instagram earlier, I've been growing up around cars my whole life. So I think it would be a bit of a crime if I didn't end up liking cars. So essentially, I had the love for cars and I developed a love for photography. I basically merged those together. I started in 2013 when I was 12, I think, or maybe 2012 when I was 13. I can't really remember. But yeah, the rest is history, really. We are 8 years or 7 years in and I'm loving it. How much does your insurance increase after modifying your cars as a young driver? This only really counts for the 140. Very interestingly, only by, I think, 200 or 300 pounds in total. Everything declared, obviously, I'm not that much of an idiot. yeah, really not that bad at all, which I was very surprised about. I was like, click the button quick before they change their mind. Now, anyway, the last question for today's video is about my next trip. Now, I did have some trips planned. Well, actually, I went on a trip which was cancelled halfway through, the Geneva trip. But my next trip, as things stand at the moment, isn't for a couple months, which I'm kind of thankful for. It is a big trip. It is another road trip around Europe. I'm taking the 140, hopefully, basically going down to south of France, Italy, Germany, all the way up. Basically a big anti-clockwise circle, which will be great. 2 weeks we're going to be doing the trip with. Chloe will be co-driving with me, Chloe, my girlfriend, and some other friends as well. Fingers crossed it goes ahead. At the moment, I don't really know. I'm kind of halfway through booking things and really don't know if I should keep on booking things because I don't know if I can get the money back. But essentially, that is my next trip. Other than that, nothing really planned, set in stone. I'd like to go to Dubai or America. Those are the two places which I'd love to go to. Whether it's later on this year or not, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not sure how long this video is. I'm not sure if anyone's actually made it to the end, and I'm not sure if this mic has been dealing with the wind. Hopefully it has. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap things up for today's video. A very casual video, really. Just me stood here speaking and answering some questions. If you do have any more questions for me, then by all means, let me know down in the comments. I will be replying to comments on this video, and sorry if I didn't get through to answering yours in this video. But anyway, that's going to wrap things up from me today. I need to go have a drink because I'm losing my breath. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure to subscribe for all the adventures still to come.